Today I want to talk to you about rhythm. Actually, today we want to talk to you about rhythm. This is Tiki. So, what is rhythm? You don't have to have a musical talent to have a rhythm. Rhythm is basically following something, following a sound, following a visual aid. For example, when you're dancing, you're following someone's feet or you're following the music. So I want you to pay attention to the next example is a clock ticking. So if you notice that every time the needle moves, the clock makes a sound. So my point today is that if you want to have rhythm when you're playing tennis, you not only have to watch the ball, but you have to hear the ball, as in the following example. So going back to the example of the clock, every time the needle got to the next point, the clock would make a sound. If you compare that to the tennis swing, every time the ball bounces, your backswing should get to the lowest point. So make your backswing look like a clock. We want to hear the ball bounce at the lowest point of your backswing. That's gonna make you wait for that ball to bounce. It's gonna help you see it bounce. Right after you hear and you see the ball bounce, that's when we let the racket go forward. So what about serves and overheads? That gets a little trickier. You can't really hear the ball bounce, but you can see the ball get to the highest point. We don't want to let the racket go up to get to the ball until the ball is actually coming down. So ideally we want to try and let the ball get to the highest point, and once it starts dropping, the racket should be going up. So let the ball get to the highest point. Once it gets to the highest point, starts dropping, we let the racket go up. What about volleys? Volleys are a little tricky. You don't really hear the ball bouncing on your side, but you hear the ball when your opponent strikes the ball. And that, by the way, is the perfect time for you to do your split step. So ideally, when you're talking about volleys, you are looking at catching the ball. So in the case of the forehand, Tiki. On the case of the forehand, you want to try and imagine that you're going to catch the ball with your non-racket hand, and at that point you would strike the ball. So catch the ball with a non-racket hand and hit it. On the backhand, technically it's easier because if you have a one-hander backhand, your racket is already in front. So there again is you would be catching the ball. Right at the optimal time where you would catch the ball, that would be the time to hit the ball. It's not that hard. It only takes your eyes and your ears to have rhythm. I hope that helps. See you next week.